Was he Wild Bill while he was still alive?
No.
Really?
I never heard him referred to as Wild Bill.
The other day I heard about somebody named Wild Bill. Is that where Greg Cody got it from?
I think my dad just says shit, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I think he thinks
That's
it's
what I
funny.
always kind of
I think
assumed
he
is that he
thinks
just...
it's funny to say Wild Bill.
Is that
Wild
so?
Bill Cody.
Wild Bill Cote.
So Wild Bill Cody's just made up?
I mean, are we rolling yet? I feel like let's not waste it.
No. I see Danny giving me the head shakes.
Oh, we're not?
And now he's turning on the mic so he can tell me something. Have you seen Love on the Spectrum?
No.
No? You've heard about it, though.
Yes.
Have you seen Love on the Spectrum?
No, I've seen a lot of the clips.
Of videos, right?
Yeah.
So, well, I'll talk about it in a second.
I saw the clip with Jack Black and the guy.
Oh, on the show?
No, Connor's the star.
I like lizards. I like turtles. You
Connor's
can
the
start on
star.
the wide.
Maybe we don't.
Yeah. I would
Okay,
say
so
that's
here's the question.
imitation.
Okay, remember you said that.
Okay.
Danny, I'm just going to start because this is what I want to talk about. So here's the thing about that. Love on the Spectrum. We all know it's this popular Netflix show about people with autism getting on like they go on dates, they try to find love, right?
I'm very nervous about
nervous.
where you are taking this. Just
So-
on the record,
Careful.
you're speaking for yourself.
Wild Fuentes Friday.
I
Yes.
don't know
Well-
what you're doing, or Saturday or whatever.
Whatever this is, yeah. So here's the thing about that show.
No.
It's funny, but also, like there's emotional parts because these people are trying to find
It's
people.
sweet, I would
Yeah,
think.
and then there's some people, like it's a guy named Brandon on one of the episodes that he's very much on the spectrum, and he has like a really big problem with being in a restaurant.
Yeah.
Like so bad, like he like tucks down on the table.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to hear the noise.
Gets
so he wears
really
headphones.
uncomfortable.
Really, really uncomfortable. But then he's like uncomfortably made to go on this dating thing, and then I'm wondering like, did he even want to do this? Did
Why
his
are we
parents-
selecting the one who struggles at restaurants to
Well,
go to
that's
restaurants?
because that's the thing. So here's the thing. Billy was saying off
lot of
camera.
things.
Yeah, Billy was saying something off camera that he sees a lot of clips about the show. So there's this guy on Instagram that he does impersonations of the guys. But the thing about
Seems
that,
like a dangerous game.
exactly. So it's like, is it even okay to laugh at this? Because while he's nailing the impersonations, these guys are on the spectrum.
Well, I think it's like, the whole thing with stand-up comedy. Like sometimes stand-up comedy is going to be inappropriate. Is it still funny? Maybe. I'm not going to say whether that's funny or not. I haven't seen it, but I like fairness with comedy.
Can I ask you guys a question? I feel like I'm out of the loop on something, and you can tell me. And Fuentes, I'm relying on you more than Chris because Chris started the conversation, so I think he might have a different view than I do. Outside of work, I could go months, if not years, without talking about stand-up comedy. Am I missing something like a key part of like pop culture?
I think
where
so.
Where stand-up comedy is constantly being discussed? Because I only have conversations about stand-up comedy at work.
I'm into stand-up comedy. I get what you're saying,
Yeah.
that if you're just not into it, maybe it's not in your algorithm. But, man, I have, stand-up comedians is my entire social media
I
algorithm.
was going to say there are stand-up people and there are people that like
Stand-up
other
people.
forms of
Just,
comedy.
like, good people, you
Yeah,
mean?
people that go to comedy clubs and like
Upstanding
watch
citizens.
stand-up all the
upstanding-
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stand-up people.
I think it's more Netflix has really made a push that like we're gonna have Netflix is funny and all that. Like we're gonna have stand-up
Yeah.
comedians part of our content, and then social media like TikTok is loaded with comedians.
Yeah.
So you
I'll
see these
see-
like clips and
Yeah, I'll see clips, but like
Yeah.
not. I won't sit down and watch an entire special.
rare that I do unless somebody like big like Bill Burr
Yeah.
or something like that.
Yeah, comedy's just it's you got to be into it. I feel like, and if you're into it,
I
your
like-
algorithm will shove it down
I
your
like
throat.
to laugh.
Yeah,
Well, I have a friend.
I'm fun.
One day I asked him like, "Hey, you want to go to the Improv?" He's like, "I don't like stand-up comedy." I'm like, "Are you against laughing?"
Can I tell you something that I just saw, and I sent this to like my little like close group on Instagram
We're
that
not
I
in this.
sent things. It's just my wife, my sister, and her husband
Okay.
that I sent it to. So it was like family, right? And it was a targeted ad for a stand-up comedian who's coming to town, going on tour, is going to be at Doral at the Improv, and it's not someone that you would associate with stand-up comedy.
I want to go to that. I saw the same thing.
I sent it and I said, "This seems like a terrible idea."
Same. I know who you're talking about.
I
Say it,
think
who
he
is it?
does.
It's Vinny from the Jersey Shore.
Oh, really?
That is who it is.
I saw it. I was like, I would go to that. I think
It's Vinny from the Jersey Shore. And I was like, this seems not like a good
because
idea.
I know he is like trying. I think he's trying to like, what's my next move here? I think he wants to go, and so I'm interested to see how it's going to go. Because
He's-
I'm with Billy. I'm skeptical, but I could see. Who knows?
He's famous enough that it's like a 10 to 12 city tour that he's going on, like right out of the gate.
I mean, if Pauly D can be a DJ,
Well, that was always his thing, though.
Yeah.
Like
He's been doing it for a
It was
long time.
only
too.
his thing because at one point he just was like, "I'm gonna be a
Wait,
DJ."
I need
Pauly
something.
D came to one of the fraternities at UF while I was in UF, and it was like the biggest deal
He's-
ever.
he's
Like
pretty-
the fraternity was selling tickets
He's
to
pretty
the
big.
tailgate. Like it was huge.
But he was a DJ
Before.
when he
Okay.
started on the show. He was like a DJ,
Okay,
like
that
a
makes me
local
feel better
DJ or
about
whatever.
it.
I'm assuming.
I don't even remember that. I know that he's been ever since the show. He's been huge, and he's made a ton of money off.
Yeah,
it.
in Vegas.
Yeah.
He's by far the richest one.
Oh yeah.
And like
100%.
the later ones, like they're always like, "You paying for this?" Like
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
the one that has made.
Well,
way
he's the
more
one I
money.
think like he lives in Vegas, and they showed his cars. He has like Bentleys and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like you see this stuff, and all I can see when I see that is this guy's a lot of debt. But
Yeah.
he does. I know he's famous. Like I see him doing clubs down here.
You don't think
I would much rather listen to Pauly D DJ than
Vinny's do stand-up
Vinny
comedy?
do stand up. Yeah,
I don't know, he might be
I'm
good.
good on watching Vinny
might
do
be
stand
good.
up. Yeah.
I wouldn't like know if I was listening to Pauly D DJ.
right?
Well, I don't
I'd
think.
just be hearing music.
It's
Yeah.
just the fact that he's there, like
Yeah.
the guy from the Jersey Shore is there playing
fist pumping
music
when
for
the
you.
music's
Yeah,
playing.
and then you got to do the dumb. You know.
No,
no,
and
I
I'm
feel like
sh-
it adds to the experience.
no,
of
and it's
being-
a
I've
whole
seen him.
show and stuff
Yeah?
like that.
Me, Roy, and Dwork and
And?
Sarah Sivian ended up when the
what
the
party!
What a crew.
When the
What a
NHL
crew.
All-Star game was down here a few years ago, it was one of the days after the game. They're like, "Hey, you guys want to go to Hard Rock DJ Pauly?" I was like, "Sure, let's go."
All right,
How was
there
it?
you go.
It was, it was just
The DJ.
I feel like I got it after a few minutes. I was like, "All right."
I like that.
It was fun.
I like that story.
And then Roy and Dwork just like disappeared. 'Cause,
I like
it was
that's
loud.
Not surprising
It was just,
at all.
Yeah, they were saying it was too
Roy
loud.
looks like a type of guy that complains about how loud a club is.
Yeah.
Would
yeah.
you guys rather see one comedian or go to like one of the nights at like I went to the Comedy Cellar in New York a few years ago, and you see like 6, 7 comedians or
Right.
whatever. 2 or 3 of them are really funny. The other ones you kind of chuckle. Would you rather see like maybe not your favorite comedian, but like one person or
Give me the one
a
guy
whole
that I
show?
know is funny. Than like just like the people I haven't heard of. or-
But sometimes you discover new people when you do that.
yeah, but
Yeah.
a lot of times you
No, a lot of times. Yeah, you're just waiting around for the headliner.
Sometimes you do, but most of the time you don't.
Yeah.
I have a bone to pick with Chris Cody,
Okay.
If that's okay.
Whoa,
I don't know if this is the time.
God bless
for
football
that.
crossover.
Yeah, R.I.P. I don't know if this is the time or
is
place
good.
to bring up bones to pick.
This works.
But I have a bone to pick with Chris Cody here, and I don't think you're 100% to blame on this,
Oh,
but I
boy.
found myself in a predicament. So, I am fairly active on Cameo. I have people reach out to me, ask me to do cameos. I do a bunch of cameos.
Have you seen a resurgence since you mentioned it on this, or?
I've gotten some, and I've also, and this is where I don't have a bone to pick with Chris Cody because it's benefited me, and because now we have someone else whose inability to complete cameos is benefiting me. Jeremy came on, and he's like, "I'll do any cameo you want, blah blah, whatever." Right?
He has
No, what killed him? You know what killed him?
So I've already gotten requests saying Jeremy hasn't fulfilled my cameos. That I then do a cameo
Yeah.
to fulfill Jeremy's cameos.
Nice.
And then I heard a off the record, just between all of us friends here, don't clip this on social or anything, and hopefully Jeremy doesn't listen to this episode, and I don't want to betray any confidences, but I heard that there have been multiples that have expired. It wasn't just a one-time thing, and then he's asked them to rebook, and then those have also expired.
I've
So,
done
like,
that before. Dangerous game.
Yeah,
you don't want to be that guy.
if they expire, I'll
That's
do them
one
for
thing.
free. I'm
Same.
not gonna ask someone to rebook it just
Same.
because I'll just do it for free. Whatever, my bad. I messed this up for you.
Same.
Anywho, so thank you, Jeremy, for joining Cameo because you're doing good for me. Now, I'm in a predicament here
Pick this bone.
that I'm going to resolve just to get it behind me and us, but I feel like I'm not in the wrong in this scenario. And I am only bringing it up because I wonder how you guys would handle the situation. Probably not the way that I'm going to handle the situation, but it's a dicey situation.
I have no
So-
idea where you're going.
Yeah,
with
me
this.
too. Like,
Okay. I had a guy reach out to me, a fan of the show. Thank you to all the fans for listening. Sends me a cameo request. Not like a DM. Sends me a cameo request months and months and months ago. And it was just, it was very unclear on the description in the request. And it was basically, hey, I made a song for the show. Let me know what you think. So I was like, okay, so what do I do in this video? So I do a video, I listen to the song, whatever. I don't even remember how it is that I responded.
So he
in the
paid you
thing.
just to hear the song, basically.
Kind of like you did for a job. Like, you
No,
can't
but
meet us
that's
to
but
get
that's
a job.
yeah, but that's a pitch. I guess you're right.
Well, whatever.
No, no,
So
no.
it was basically just like I made a song, I sent it to a bunch of people. I don't know if anyone got it, right? So like I just made like a video. I don't even know if at the time I heard the song. I probably honestly had not heard the song at the thing. So I sent him a video like, hey, thanks for sending it. I'll pass it along, whatever, right? So I send the video. I think that's that. Then we get in contact with each other. I get the song, and I pass it along up the chain because I'm not the one playing the songs. But I pass it up the chain. Then sometime later, the person reaches out to me and is like, "Hey, I never got any feedback on the song. Did you like it? Did you not like it? I didn't hear from anyone on the song. Like, I kind of feel like I was duped in the Cameo situation. Like, I wouldn't mind it if you gave me a refund for the Cameo."
Oh, so his whole thing was he wanted like some kind of feedback from you about the song, even though he didn't specify that's what he wanted.
He may have asked for feedback. I don't know. Whatever. So
sounds like he wanted his song to get on air.
Right. It sounds like
100%.
Yeah,
Okay.
and he paid to get his song.
But come on, that's not promised.
Okay,
like,
so I was like, I'm so sorry that you haven't gotten feedback from anyone on the song. I will send it to Chris and like decide if it'll play on air, whatever. Like I'll forward.
Is this
the
recently?
thing to
Because I
Chris.
don't remember.
No, it was like months ago.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, I'm gonna send it to Chris and like pass it up the chain, whatever, right? And if it gets on the air, whatever. Like I'll give you the refund if you want. Like I'll send you like the thing on Venmo, whatever, right? And I thought that I did. And he responds like, no need. I'm just glad I got the feedback, whatever. I was like, okay, fine. This has been put to bed. But I thought that I had paid him back regardless on Venmo. So much so that recently I looked to see if I had paid him back or not on Venmo because 2 months later, which was like last week, I just got a thing where it was like being sent his Venmo address again. And I'm like,
requesting money.
Okay, I guess like I'm looking, I'm like, I thought I paid this guy like because I didn't want to like have this fan feel like he was duped or whatever. Like I thought that I gave him a refund. So I just get like a screenshot of what he paid in his Venmo thing again, even after being told, no, don't pay me back. So I'm going to pay him back, but I was a bit peeved, if I'm going to be honest with you.
Wait, so you thought you paid him back, but then he asked for a request for the money back?
No, he sent me a DM with a screenshot of what he paid. I thought I had paid him back, and then I was like, did I pay? Did he reject? Like, what happened here? 'Cause
Well,
I
you
thought
said
that I paid it.
You said you checked. So when you checked, did you see?
I didn't find anything. So and I don't use Venmo that often, so I wasn't sure if it's a thing where
You can check your history.
I know I checked my history, but I didn't see it, so I didn't know if someone cancels or denies a thing, does it disappear? I guess I forgot to pay him back, whatever. But he had told me you don't need to pay me back. So I'm going to refund him this Cameo, even though I fulfilled the Cameo and I pass along the song, and I'm not in charge of who plays the songs on the show.
So is your bone? What did I do? With
No, the
song?
bone is you owe me the money.
You owe
that
him the
I'm
money for the
refunding
thing.
him.
Yeah, 'cause
That's
you didn't
the
pay.
bone-
It's
that's
true,
the
'cause
bone
I'd have to
pick.
listen to it.
Yeah, but
I
you
don't
didn't-
remember whether I
That's
heard
the
it
bone
and
to
it wasn't
pick.
good enough, or whether I didn't hear
You're
it
gonna get
and
a
forgot
Venmo
to play
request
it.
from me.
Yeah, but CV should have just
No.
claimed,
What
I
was the
did hear
song?
and it wasn't any good, and that's why, so I
Is
don't
there
write anything.
like? Can you
No, I'm
describe it?
No, I'm going to
Also,
send you the Venmo.
love our
request.
fans. I don't think you needed to give him the money back.
I'm going to do so because I don't want him to feel
Wow.
like he was misled or
After
whatever.
this, after saying it on air, I feel like you should, and I'll split it with you.
No.
That's
He'll
not
he'll
enough.
split it with you.
That's a lie.
I won't
Still-
do anything.
still
Yeah.
That's a lie.
It still costed me half of it. It wasn't my fault. But now what's going to happen is we're going to get inundated with requests that people are going to backtrack
Which
on
is-
trying to get money.
What happened to Jeremy is this idiot. He goes.
The idiot is Jeremy.
Yes, the idiot is Jeremy.
Okay.
He goes, send me a Cameo. I'll do a parody song for you. So now what does he have? Like 70 requests for parody songs.
Yeah, he created
many?
a ton
Dangerous
of work.
game. Dangerous.
Ton
He
of
has
work.
a ton of work for himself. So he did like 2 of them, and then he realized, oh, this is a ton of work.
Yeah.
Like I shouldn't be doing this, anymore.
My Cameo active, by the way.
There you go.
I'm done not responding.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
send
pull
him-
Jeremy right now.
Send him to Chris, and then when he doesn't do it, just send him
Yeah.
to me with that unused credit that you have. You can't do anything with.
have many times pondered if I should play the videos you guys sent me when I asked for the job.
I do like that.
I want to
Yeah.
see those.
I do too.
I would like
I
to
would
hear
like
it.
to
I
see
kind
those.
of want to
yeah.
see him too.
Billy's is like 10 minutes long.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Am I in my bedroom?
Dude,
on
you
my-
get your
my
money's worth
dresser?
on mine.
Yes.
That was my Cameo spot for a while.
Yeah, the dresser video.
Throw the phone up.
Where do you
clean it up.
have them? Like
On my
saved on your
phone.
phone?
Yeah, on my phone.
I would like to see that.
I'll show you
I think.
after, because I was
Yeah.
gonna play them, but then they're a little long.
Yeah.
And then a lot of them are like 3 years old now.
Are we being like just totally like earnest? Like, hey man, I'm gonna try.
Yeah,
I'm
well-
gonna try to talk to some people.
You were.
Okay.
Billy, he was like quick to like get rid of all like
like hope.
responsibility. No, he's just like, well, I don't really have that
And
kind
I
of
was
power.
just a
It's the
dick.
truth.
And I was just a
I
dick.
haven't recommended a single person for a job at this company that's been hired. Like, for the record. Like, that's the truth.
Yeah, Billy's-
Chris has quite the tree of employees
Mine was
underneath
well,
him.
Jeremy.
I don't think I
Just
have a
Jeremy.
single person be like, dude, and Tony like is half
Tony's
the
tree,
company is
yeah.
Tony.
I think my
We were
tree's
doing
only
we were
Jeremy.
doing coaching trees a few months back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking about who comes
well,
from where.
Ethan's on your
because
tree.
he's Jeremy.
I'm under
under
Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
How's
Yeah.
Jeremy getting people?
But that's
here
just
before
the
you?
hiring tree.
Yeah.
Then there's also the the coaching tree of kind of molding
that
content.
doesn't count
Right,
here.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like mine is only my Gino.
Gina got you?
The closest thing I got was maybe Taylor was in my tree, but it was up for debate.
Taylor's kind of in everybody's tree.
He reached out to like everybody.
yeah.
I think was a
Oh
thing.
yeah, he definitely reached out, but I didn't help him.
My real
Not that I didn't want to. That was not one that I like.
my real tree is actually really at the top. It's Bimmel.
Yeah.
They're
Well,
like
he
assorted
hires people
CEOs.
here.
Well, no,
we're
but-
all under Bimmel's tree now.
No, but I got like straight to the top.
How?
Because Juliana's boss at the time worked for this company that I'm not going to mention because it's like
Oh,
a,
so
in the
it was
biz
like a thing of,
yeah,
like-
and then you guys just having me looking for video people at the time. You know, I'm coming from a TV background, so it was like perfect. And then Lewis did my interview. So I remember the first time I did my interview
Wait,
with
what?
exactly.
Hold up.
Well, no, so it was
That's a great image.
It was-
What a wild.
well, it was multiple tiers, right? So it was like Carl, Jenny, that people nobody cares about, and then
Whoa.
Jenny's like
I like
talk to
Jenny.
Lewis.
the audience doesn't care about,
Yeah,
but they're
they're-
way more important
correct.
than
They
Lewis.
probably have family
Yeah,
that cares
so-
about them.
Well, Lewis was the last person I talked to, and here I'm thinking, oh,
Lewis
man.
was the final
like,
interview.
just to like see. I'm sure it was already decided.
How many
Yikes.
bros?
Not a lot. I remember we bonded because we were talking about his top 5 list of streets in Miami.
I love you, like
Dude.
legitimately trying to turn it on for Lewis.
I
This-
love the
no,
idea
no.
of a serious interview with Lewis.
Well,
yeah,
that-
like,
I
like
love that
showing
this-
up in a suit to talk to
This
Lewis.
has to have happened at like 11:58 in the morning.
don't
Because if not, he
it was
freaking
like
outta
early
here.
afternoon.
Of
it
course.
was, and I think he was at his house. So I just remember getting in the interview and I'm talking and I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. And then I get here and I'm like, oh wow.
That's Lewis.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I can remember what it was like when walking in being like, because I listened to the show, I knew so much about you guys, but I didn't know how to be like, hey, I know you, but
the
you don't
boys.
know me. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Such a weird thing to come into.
I don't remember like your first couple days. I remember you just like being here.
He
I
remembers
remember you
day
come.
3.
I remember
not
you
1 and 2.
coming up to me, and I was watching F1. And you're like, "Oh, big F1 guy, huh?"
Yeah, there
And
you
I was
go.
like, "You were the first person that like
It's called small talk.
reached out
right
to
there.
me." Exactly.
I saw like you're looking at something. I'm like,
You were the first person too. I remember I was sitting working like in an afternoon. You're the first person like came and asked me about my life.
how about me?
Yeah, there you
Huh?
go.
About your life?
Yeah, like, oh, what are you
Wow.
doing? Like, do you have a girlfriend? Like, how long you
Wow.
been living down here? He was the first one.
I
There
don't.
you go.
You asked later. To be fair to you, but Chris was the first.
My first
Lewis didn't ask. Jerk.
my first interaction that I had with Kugler was not polite, and I've said this a number of times, but like, so he's there, he's sitting in the corner or whatever, and he just like looks at me and he's like, "You're your own worst enemy," and I was like, "Want to do lunch this week? Like, let's do lunch. I want to hear more about this."
Yeah.
Right? I was like, "Okay, this is like very like nice to meet you."
Yeah.
And then so we go to have lunch like the next day or 2 days later, and I'm like, "Where do you want to eat?" He's like, "I don't care." I was like, "You look like someone with a bunch of food allergies. Where are we going to eat?" And I realized that's not a polite thing to say. So
It's pretty funny though.
to Kugler.
I remember pretty early on, like one of the first times I talked to Billy, he just comes over, he sits down, and goes, "So where do you see yourself in 5 years?"
Did I do that?
Yeah,
Yes.
you do ask that.
100%.
I like that.
Nice.
What was the answer?
I had no idea.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
classic interview question.
Still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
So like since we're talking about jobs and stuff, I've noticed that a lot of people like in my range are teachers now, and I see the things they do on the weekend and stuff, and I
crazy
think,
they're educating the youth.
So I'm thinking to myself,
God
what
bless the
were our
teachers.
teachers doing when we
Yeah.
were? Yeah. Oh, Danny B chiming in from
Probably-
left field.
Probably
Wow.
the same thing.
Yeah. I think Danny B was a teacher before he became a
In fact,
volleyball official.
I want to know just half of it.
No
not
one,
all of
no
it.
one heard anything Danny B said except for you. Just so you
Really?
know. Yeah,
Oh, that
he didn't
was-
say that on air.
Oh,
No, he definitely did.
he said you don't know the half
There's
of it.
no way.
Yeah, he didn't say that on air.
And that's all I want to know is the half of it,
Well,
not
yeah.
all of it.
But I always think about my teachers in high school,
yeah.
and one of them acted like insane in class.
Yeah.
So God knows what she was doing. And I remember her husband was a dentist. So
Ah.
I'm like, they have a little bit of money. So what were they into?
I don't like that implication at all.
I will agree with you that as I've become an adult, you realize that teachers aren't like they get after it.
Yeah.
They have a good time. They're partiers.
Yeah, I had a couple friends that were teachers like right out of college.
And it's something you don't realize when you're in school.
No.
And I'm out there partying with them,
Yeah.
and I'm like, you're gonna go teach
It's
a
the
couple
furthest
second
thing
graders.
from your mind.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the furthest thing from your mind. It's so true. Like a substitute would come in, they're 24 years old.
Yeah.
You know, fresh from wherever, broke as hell. Like they're just trying to make any kind of money they can. And it's like, what are you getting into? But you don't think about that because, you know, you're a self-absorbed teenager.
You also don't think about the things that teachers are tasked with at the ages of
God.
24 and 25 years old, especially teachers of young kids.
Dude,
like,
go to any mall.
Some of my college. Well, first of all, now in today's age, where
Dude, no,
we don't have to get into all
you see,
that,
you
but
see like how 16-year-olds act, and you're like, bro, this is what they were dealing with every day.
Dude, teach
40
it's
of
not
them?
16-year-olds, dude. I'm talking about like
No.
you're literally raising kids and like
Yeah.
teaching them how to go to the bathroom.
But
and
they have an
It's
idea.
crazy.
But they have an idea of authority. Like if you get loud or whatever, they'll listen to you. A 16-year-old is a pain in the ass. You know, so it's like
I don't
look
envy
at Danny
teachers.
B. He's nodding his head so hard he's gonna hurt his neck. He's gonna need your neck brace in a second.
Poor teachers, man.
Dude, I chaperoned like a month ago, and just being in that classroom for like 20 minutes before we left, I was so stressed. Like I was feeling so bad for this. She's like a first-year teacher, and she's great. My daughter's teacher. Like you might get nervous. Oh, you have a first year. She is fantastic, but the chaos that is this classroom is just wild.
The worst days, so like we had when they have like, you know, get-togethers and, you know, parties and whatever, even like at young ages. So like, oh, it's, you know, little Timmy's birthday party on a Sunday.
Yeah.
So like we're at the birthday party on the Sunday, and I see all the classmates running around, and I'll turn to my wife. I go, tomorrow's going to be a rough day for Miss Teacher.
Yeah.
This is gonna
Or
be
a good day
really-
because they're all tired out
No,
the next day.
not how it works.
Ethan, that's
No,
adorable. How you
not-
think
that's
that.
cute.
That's what most people think.
Exactly.
That's not how it works.
Cute. There's no like energy limit.
Yeah. No.
You know when the energy limit comes in when you drive them home.
The funny thing is
Right.
like
in the car they're gone. Yeah.
the less they rest, the more energy they seem to have. It's
Yeah.
not like they're tired. It's like now they're just super cranky, and
Yeah.
they're gonna refuse to rest, and they're gonna give the poor teacher hell the next day.
Whenever I go to a kid's party, I'm always looking around and I'm thinking,
Why am I here?
no, well that one. 2 is where's the alcohol? 3 is, dude, these
Who's
kids
single?
run a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, dude, always running.
Always
like
running.
9 straight hours of running.
But we were that too.
But
so
I don't
it's like-
remember that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like even 5,
Yeah.
6. I remember a lot of stuff when I was 5 or 6 years old. But bro, these kids get there, they take off, 7 hours of running.
Yeah.
Absorbing sugar and
7
running.
straight hours.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy that
7 hours.
It's crazy they aren't more dehydrated, honestly, with the amount of energy that little kids like expel. I can't imagine how they stay so hydrated.
Dude, it's just insane to me.
If
Like,
I'm outside for like an hour and I don't drink like 3 bottles of water, I'm like having a heat stroke. And these kids are out there for hours running around. Like, they
I'm
don't
thirsty
drink-
right now. My
Yeah.
water's out there.
dude, you know what I'm
parched.
Next time I go to a kid's birthday party, I'm gonna go to like my little cousin and be like, hey, come here. I'm gonna strap an Apple Watch on him.
And see how many steps.
See how many
they
steps
get.
he gets. What his calorie burn is.
And they take such little steps too.
Dude.
They have to be.
It's
What do you think like a day at Disney is with a little kid? You think a little kid could? Well, they're in a stroller a lot of the time, but
Yeah.
you think a kid could hit like 40,000 steps in a day?
I mean, my most ever that
My steps are like 3
huge.
child
Yeah,
steps.
you're a gazelle to them. Yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
So like every time if I get 15,000 steps easy, and they're walking the entire time, which they're not,
Yeah.
because I have to carry
You're
them half the
carrying
time.
them. Yeah. Put me in the Mickey
The whole thing.
stroller.
Yeah, no, just
Yeah.
listen. We brought a stroller for you to ride in the stroller, not for me to carry you around and have to push the stroller.
You know,
kid.
you know when I knew that, like, I was like, okay, this is for families, and like me, the single guy with his girlfriend, is not for Magic Kingdom.
Yeah.
I go to like a ride. I forgot what it was. I don't know if it was Haunted House or whatever. And right as we turn the corner, just literally a parking lot,
yeah.
a sea of baby carriages.
And they
Yeah.
move them, by the way.
Really?
Like it's the craziest
If you don't put
thing.
it in the right spot,
Well,
even
they'll
like
put it
certain
there?
parking spots,
Yeah.
areas for each ride, and if you put it in the wrong spot, they will just move your thing.
No, even if you put it in the right spot, but more people leave and there's a gap,
They
they'll
condense
move
it.
it
push
to like
it
a
in?
different portion in the parking
Yeah.
area. You're like, where's my stroller? Did someone
yeah.
steal this?
just literally 300 strollers, and I was like, yo,
Yeah.
Magic Kingdom, not for your boy.
You
anymore.
guys have both been to Disney World with kids. Is that the worst place to take a kid?
No, I loved it. It was one
Yeah.
of my best
I mean, I'm
days
sure
of
it's
the year.
talking
fun,
to two
but
Disney
like
guys.
in
It was
terms
So
of
great. I loved it.
in
I was
terms
so
of-
happy.
We're both Disney guys. You're talking to the
Responsibilities,
wrong
like-
guys.
I mean,
a lot of people would agree with you.
yeah, I'm like not a kid person.
It probably
honestly,
depends on
but-
the age of them also.
Well, but you must get like that. You got that feeling inside when you saw their face light up. When you know what I mean. Like,
It is
the first
wild
time.
how becoming a parent, like I can just go to my daughter's karate class and watch her, and I'm like enjoying it. Like it's one of those things that I never.
it changes
thought-
you forever, right?
It's
Like,
just one of
yeah.
those things where it's like you see your kid doing something, and it's just like, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah.
this is good.
Yeah.
This is not bad. Good time.
Human experience.
Yeah, but after a while, it's like, okay, this is boring.
Oh my
Right.
god.
Are you gonna break the piece of wood or not? What are we
Right,
doing
right,
here? Jeez.
Yeah, you know how much I
Flim-
pay? You know how much I pay for this class?
Who taught
Flimsy
you how to
ass-
kick?
flimsy
Exactly.
ass wood.
Yeah, I could do that. You ever look at it and think, how many can I break?
I remember when I used to be in karate class, I was like 8, and I noticed the guy, he would like grab the board and like be bending it as hard
Oh,
as he
yeah.
can. So
Oh,
the second the
wow.
kid hits it, it would blow up, and I'm
Oh,
like,
I
oh,
don't like that.
Yeah. So after that, I was like, fraud.
Yeah.
Wow.
I have an announcement to make now for something next segment, the second half
Wow.
of Mystery Crate. I'd like to announce, which camera earlier, this one. I'd like to announce I have an apology and a correction to make next segment on Mystery Crate.
Thank you.
I could just do it
You could
now,
start
I
it
suppose.
now. yeah.
No, it's quick.
And then we
It's-
can react to it after.
No,
well, it's quick,
it's-
and we have like a minute 20.
It's a quick tease. I have an apology and an announcement to make.
Mr. Craze brought to you by DraftKings. DraftKings, crown is yours.
Boom.
We'll get to that. And then Chris says,
What?
We'll be right back.
Oh,
It's time for You Betcha. I know, jarring. I don't have a hat on. Some of you in the comments said I look weird. You thought I was a different person because I don't have my hat on. But I, in fact, sometimes do not wear hats. This edition of You Betcha is brought to you by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. We're not doing MLS this week. I know MLS cashed last week. Usually pretty good at the MLS stuff. And, you know, looking ahead towards the weekend, I like to do MLS games. But basketball, I feel like we kind of have a layup this week. You get it? Basketball. So the Celtics, they're down 2-0 to the New York Knicks. Probably very unlikely, one of the only times it's happened in NBA history, but I don't expect that to continue. You'd have to be crazy to think that would continue. So You Betcha parlay for this week. Celtics money line, Derek White plus 17 points. He's only one of the scorers on a team that's kind of been consistent the first two games. And we're going to go over 204.5 points. That's the over-under on total points for the whole game this week, because I feel like if the Celtics figure it out, it's going to be because they started to hit their shots. So the first game, 108 to 105, that's 213, but that game went into overtime. The second game, 181 total points. I think if the Celtics figure it out, that pushes that way over 204.5 points. Once again, Celtics money line, Derek White 17 plus points, over 204.5 points for the game. That's You Betcha. Back to the show.
Ever back. Billy, you teased something.
Yeah, I have an apology and a correction that I would like to make because I was pulled aside by one of my coworkers earlier this week, and I want to correct something that I did. Something that I said negatively impacted someone that we work with, and I felt bad about doing so, and it was not my intention to do that. What are you laughing about?
He's
just anticipating what you're going to say. Yeah.
The setup of this feels like it's going
perfect.
to be
What?
not sincere. But go ahead. Maybe I'm wrong.
It's very sincere.
Can I guess? Is Rose involved here?
No, why did I say something about
No,
Rose?
I don't know. Just Rose seems like the person that would kind of
No.
be involved in this kind of situation.
No. So, I'll look at this camera here in front of me. I want to apologize for any confusion that some of my comments on last episode of Mystery Crate may have caused and any headaches that they may have created for Mike Fuentes. I said Mike Fuentes has a girlfriend, and that proved to be a problematic thing where people were inquiring with him about whether or not he has a girlfriend. I implied that he did have a girlfriend or he had a love interest, and that may have caused him harm to the point that people were reaching out to him inquiring about that situation. So I do not have any inside information on
Danny's
Mike
enjoying
Fuentes'
this so much. Look at him. He's
I don't have any inside information on Mike Fuentes' love life, whether he does or does not have a girlfriend or, you know, any romantical connections at all. So I apologize on behalf of myself and anyone else that may have misled people to the fact that maybe or maybe not he has a girlfriend or doesn't have a girlfriend. Maybe he's playing the field. Maybe he does have a girlfriend, is pretending he doesn't have a girlfriend for side conquest. I don't know about any of that. So I would like to apologize for any statements that I made last week that may have caused some confusion in that area.
I feel like that cleaned it all up for you.
I did. Thank you. Not confusing at all.
This is Billy's way of saying Mike says sup.
No.
Well,
Maybe.
correct me if I'm wrong, but you were asked about this situation after I said something or implied that you had a girlfriend.
I was, but it wasn't about last week's. They said it was a recent Mystery Crate.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't know exactly
When I did
what
it?
was said.
Well, I complimented
It was with you.
a few weeks
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, well, they're all with me.
I complimented just,
That was last week.
when you're out, man.
Well,
Not shy.
you're gonna have to apologize
sorry.
for that next week.
I'm a very social. I'm a very social person.
I mean, this guy's impressive.
He knows what he's doing.
Anyway.
What was Chris? You said before the break. Moving on.
I love how uncomfortable you are.
Did we clear that up?
Yes, thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome. You're welcome.
I want to. There's something that I believed when I was a kid. It's just one of the dumb, and I know you guys are just looking at me like there's probably a lot of dumb in that.
It's probably the same one I'm thinking
in my
about,
catalog,
to be honest.
But I have something just like stupid, like little kid stuff that someone told me once about, hey, if you do this, this will happen. And I believed it. It was, if you pick your nose, your finger could get stuck in your nose.
That wasn't mine.
I want to say from like 7 to like 12, I lived with the fear of like, hey, don't put, you haven't heard?
I was always afraid that if I did like the thing where I pulled my face apart, that my face would get stuck that way.
Yeah.
They told me that would happen to
that's
me.
another one.
Or if I rolled my eyes would get stuck like that. Like those are things. It was a lot of like you'd get stuck in this horrible looking position.
It's
forever.
really just the way your parents kept you in line from doing dumb shit.
Yeah.
My daughter, speaking of that, yesterday was like, my daughter just recently, like in the last few months, started chewing gum.
Can she outsmart you yet or no? Like, is she on to your game?
She's smart.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I wouldn't say outsmart me yet, but she's getting there.
I'm not saying that she's smarter than you,
No,
but
but
like
they're-
that your tricks don't work
She's
anymore.
playing the game. Like,
Yeah,
like there are
alright.
times where I know she's lying, and my wife is still falling for it. And I
You know already.
dude, there's like the intuition, like with like fake. She's already starting to fake. Like I don't feel well, don't want to go to school, and I'm like, I can see right through this. I see right through her.
That didn't work with my mom. My mom was like, "Really? Like, let me feel your head." Then she had a thermometer ready.
My mom was-
One time, I tried to fake. I woke up not feeling great, but I tried to sell it more so that I could stay home from school. And I went and got a notepad and a pen. And anytime my mom would talk to me, I would start writing
Oh, 'cause you couldn't
because
talk?
my throat hurt.
Oh,
And I
wow.
was like, and my mom was like, "Don't give me that
I've
shit.
done the move.
You're going to school."
I've done the move of like putting chunks of like putting cereal and pouring some milk in like the toilet. And you're like, Mom, look. I
No
just-
way.
No, you didn't,
Mom,
dude.
what?
Come on,
Mom, I
dude.
just
Come on.
puked. No, I definitely.
Fruity Pebbles in there.
And
And my mom was mean.
Dude,
when
my
it came to
mom-
that. I had to
yeah.
be like
my mom was mean.
to stay home from school. Like my mom, like
Oh.
I had to be in tears.
I was the opposite. My parents, like, if I wanted to get out of come high school, like, if I wanted to get out of school because I just like didn't want to be in 7th period, I would like send an email.
Ethan, and I will have to apologize for this next week. Ethan looks like he was raised in a family where you choose your own punishment.
Yes.
No, my parents came down on me. I was also just a good kid, so I never really got punished that often. But like,
I'm with you. I wish I was worse as a kid.
Well, I was so.
I wish I pushed the boundaries more as a child.
You're-
What did being
I-
a goody two shoes
Well,
get me?
I pushed some boundaries.
You have a younger brother.
Yeah.
And you have a
Older sister.
oldest. Okay, so you learned from her what not to do.
No, she was very well behaved.
Oh, so Gino's well behaved too, but he had some pretty good sized fuck ups.
Whoa.
And I was like, "Whoa, don't do that."
No, we were
Yeah.
pretty. We were. I think the way I remember, we were pretty good kids.
Yeah, no, I was a good kid too, but my mom was more about like, especially when I was younger, you're not ruining my day off.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
you're not staying home. You're getting out. Like, by the time I got to the 7th, 8th grade high school, I was self-sufficient. I did my own thing, so I didn't really bother her.
Yeah.
But when I was young, you are not staying in this house and ruining my thing. Like, I'm doing my stuff. You're getting out of here.
Wow,
like,
what's your mom doing when you're?
No, but whatever she wanted to do. Like, she was a
Okay.
stay-at-home mom, so I'm sure she had stuff to do, and she didn't want to be like running back and forth taking care of a kid. I'm sure.
Watch
so, like,
Ellen or something.
Yeah, if I was legit sick, I was there. Oh, but
Yeah.
I was going through all the trials. We're doing the head heat. We're doing the thermometer. We're like trying to hold this down. You're taking this, feeling better, get out. You know. So.
But what we were talking about before, my daughter swallowed a piece of gum for the first time the other
Oh,
day.
no.
And she was like, "Is this gonna be in my stomach?" I'm like,
7 years.
"Yeah." I'm like,
one of the things I fell for was at camp. Every camp, right, has a ghost that hangs out at camp,
Oh.
and ours was Cropsy.
Oh,
and my
Cropsy.
first year at camp, Cropsy.
Wow.
I was told the story of Cropsy, and I fell for that, and it ruined my summer.
Can you tell us
Are
the
we
story?
sure it's
what the
not
hell is
true?
Cropsy?
Cropsy was this guy who got out of, an institution up in the mountains near our camp.
Where's your camp?
And in like northeast Pennsylvania.
Is Cropsy
Okay.
in the room with us now?
No,
Cropsy is in the lake
Don't-
at Camp Aquaic.
Why?
Because that's where his ghost is.
Did Cropsy drown?
He drowned,
that
and he
makes
drowned right in the corner down by the ropes
And
course.
then-
And on July 4th, every year, comes
Cropsy
back.
goes-
Is
Did
the-
Cropsy
is the-
pass away on July 4th?
Oh.
I can't remember that part of the
Just
story.
loves-
It must have been.
loves the
Yeah,
4th
it,
of July,
it just loves the
Cropsy.
4th of July. And
Yeah.
4th of July was a big event
I
at
like
camp.
it.
And so I was, that first year I was like,
Does
anticipating
Cropsy
4th of
like
July.
celebrate 4th of July or like rain terror on the 4th of July?
I can't remember.
Was the
Yeah.
camp
A
called
long
Camp
time
Crystal
ago.
Lake?
No, it's Camp Aquaic.
You're not going to get that reference. Crystal Lake is the camp where Jason Voorhees is, and he kills you on Friday the 13th.
Oh, good.
Thanks.
You're too young
Appreciate
for that.
Well, this is a different one. This is Cropsy.
I know, but
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Maybe they're the same. Because
There's only one ghost per camp. He
But
told us
do
that.
you know, like in religion,
That's
a lot
not
of things have
true.
parallels.
There's,
You know?
there's
Cropsy was
Had friends?
local lore, but there were a bunch of other camps around mine in northeast Pennsylvania, and like we would play intramurals against them, and other camps had heard of
How'd you
Cropsy.
end up in Pennsylvania for camp?
Do I
Just
want to
rich-
go into this?
just rich Jewish stuff?
No, it wasn't even rich
What?
Jewish stuff.
Oh.
It was just
Well-
I went to a camp in Georgia. It was a Jewish
Ooh.
camp, and it was in '09, and that was the year of the swine flu. And like my mom worked there. We
what a
went up,
time.
got there the night before camp was going to start, and they're like, "Everybody's got the swine flu. We can't start camp on time." Camp got shut down. They found McQuake, and we ended up going there. It was way better.
There you go.
There you go.
Shout out
Man,
to
Cropsy.
Yeah, try out to Cropsy.
Is Cropsy still around?
I imagine he's still hanging
Doing
out.
his thing.
Sly
Yeah.
Lake.
Ghost stuff.
Yeah, ghost stuff.
You know what I believed growing up?
What?
That if you turn the light on in the car, the cop's going to pull you over.
Who told you that? Your
My-
parents?
my parents.
I
Your
had never
parents never
heard
told you that?
No.
no, I never heard that one.
No.
That's
I also
new.
had my sister terrified because she was like really scared of the police and stuff. So every time she'd like start messing around, I'd be like, I'm going to call 911 right now. If you don't stop doing it, she would freak out.
Oh yeah.
I had her in control though. She was a little wild.
I've had that like a few. You can scare kids with cops.
With cops.
The cops are coming.
The cops are coming right now if you don't settle down.
It's
And
a
she'd just freak
difficult.
out.
It's a difficult thing, right? Where you like use like you
The
say like the
threats.
cops are coming, and then like have to convince them. But like if you're in trouble, they're here to help you.
Right. Yeah.
Because it's like, well, you're just educating them to hate the cops, and then
Yeah,
it's like,
that's
but
what
if you,
I'm
if you need them though, you need to love the cops because
Yeah.
they'll help
True.
you. Dangerous game.
Yeah.
It is a dangerous,
I'm
especially
not-
when you're a kid.
I'm not gonna pretend we haven't played that game.
Young.
I'm not gonna pretend that we haven't used that in the past.
I also
often and like it's weird, dude. I have so many threats to call the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus. It's crazy.
That's what I was just about to say. I often judge myself for the.
I'm gonna call Santa. You want to call Santa right now?
Empty threats of a parent. You know how many times I've threatened like.
I'll call the Easter Bunny right now. No, don't call the Easter Bunny.
You know what you got to do? You got to save. Like,
I go like this. I'm gonna call the Easter Bunny right now.
You got to save like an alternate
I pick
number
up my
as
phone.
Easter
and I put it
Bunny.
next to- I put it. No, I don't need. They can't read yet, so I don't need to go that far. But I pick up the phone. I'm gonna call the Easter Bunny right now. No.
I threatened to take away the tablet. Like if I'm
Yeah.
like you're not gonna have that thing for till the next and that will
Yeah.
she will do anything if I threaten to take away. And I've never taken away the tablet. Maybe a
Well,
couple
don't-
times.
yeah,
It's a
we
good
can't-
threat though.
Yeah.
It's a good, and so because one day you're actually going to do it.
I have
gonna
done
hit
it,
hard.
but like the amount I've threatened it to the
ratio?
It's the terrible ratio.
Yeah.
Oh, but that's fine. But at least she knows it's real because you've done it.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm gonna call the Easter Bunny right now. I also. This is mean, but I also have.
It's not mean. Why would you say it's mean?
It's not nice.
You're doing it for a reason, not just doing it to be an asshole.
No, sometimes I just say things that it's like you don't need to say that. So like, my dad shaves his head, and I tell my daughter sometimes like, I ate his hair.
Just to scare the shit out
I just
of her.
like yeah. She's like, Baca doesn't have hair. I'm like, yeah, I ate it. I ate his hair. That's what happened there.
I'm growing my hair out.
I ate his hair. I know.
Yeah, it's like has a weird like.
Yeah,
sticking out of the back.
I know. Well, he just wants to talk about his hair because I'll tell you why. he wants
It's
to talk about his
luscious.
hair.
Oh my god.
We had.
Why do you think he made Billy apologize, dude? He wants to show off his
So
hair.
can I? But no, it's better than that because we were in Nashville and I mentioned to him because I saw him walking
Danny,
around.
take his hair.
I
There
think
we go.
that
Thank
yeah,
you.
he needs
I mean,
attention.
Christ, Danny.
Woof.
So-
look at that. Wow. Oh, it's super.
I
No, it does look.
I
good.
noted to him when we were in Nashville. I go, your hair's like longer. Like are you like due for a haircut, whatever. And he made sure to point out to me like, no, I'm growing it out. But
What's the end game, Spence?
hold on, I asked him that. He said, I'm growing it out. I believe I'm pretty sure I'm right about this. You'll correct me. He's like, I'm growing it out to look like Bradley Cooper. And then he showed me the photos of Bradley Cooper he wants
In The
to
Hangover,
look like, and I was like,
specifically.
why?
Ooh, Bradley Cooper
And
hangover hair is.
I think
solid.
the answer
Right.
was just
Thank you.
cause. And I was like, okay.
Yeah. Why?
I mean,
'Cause
as
can.
someone who can't, like, I appreciate. Like,
I grew my hair out not on purpose during COVID. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't get a
I did it
haircut
once,
for
too.
6 months.
I think we
and it
all
was
did that once during COVID.
the worst thing.
My
it
wife
was
gave
so
me,
uncomfortable.
My
Yeah,
wife
my
gave
wife-
me the absolute worst haircut I've ever received
Yeah,
in
my
my life
wife
during
also.
COVID.
Yep.
The worst haircut and it felt like it was endless. I was like, give me Corona, like please. It was.
Yeah.
Get me outta here.
It was so long, and that. Sorry, I apologize for that. It was so long, and
You meant
and, like,
the beer. I
Yeah,
mean, no, you
that-
wouldn't. Never do that, actually.
I'm doing a beard right now for the playoffs.
You somehow made that worse.
Yeah.
I'm doing a beard for the playoffs right now, and it's getting
Oh,
to a point
good.
where it's like longer than it usually is. Like
Barky's
I've gone
gonna love
longer.
this,
I know
yeah.
Barky, Rhino, they're all gonna love it. But
Yeah.
Part of the team. Yeah.
it's bad, and I'm like, I don't want them to lose, obviously, but I'm looking for an excuse. Like
shave?
maybe
You can-
things
you
go
can
bad.
just shave it.
No, no, no.
Put that
I
in
don't.
the
I
chat.
don't. No, 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 no,
Ethan
no.
just said
I'm not
that
gonna do
I
that.
hope the Panthers
I don't
lose.
want the Panthers to lose. What I'm saying is, last year when they lost 3 straight in the Cup final, I shaved it to change up the juju, and I'm like, maybe we could get a little something going so that I could shave it to switch up the juju again.
Huh.
That's all I'm saying.
Question.
Alright.
That's you brought up Nashville and trips and stuff and Orlando.
Are you? Is the secret? I won't look. Don't
No,
worry.
no,
You're,
no.
like,
I
covering
thought I
them up
gave
with
you
your
one.
hands.
I thought I gave you one.
No, it's
Oh.
fine.
Anyway, so I haven't done anything unpopular opinions, but it's not really unpopular opinion. So are you rather a hotel guy or an Airbnb guy?
I feel strongly about this.
Yeah,
I
me
feel
too.
I have a strong opinion about this.
I am usually a hotel guy, but I've used Airbnbs more recently.
Time to time.
A couple times. Yeah, so like it depends how many people you're going with and stuff like that.
I'm
Give
pretty
me
sure.
a hotel every day
Dude,
of the week.
100%. I'm going on a trip now, right, with my friends. We're all turning 40 at the same time. Our last friend turns 40.
That can't be the same time.
No,
Well, 'cause
we're
they
all
all
going to
graduated
be
the same
40.
year.
Yeah,
Okay.
so like before
Right.
the next guy turns 41, we'll all be 40.
Okay.
We're going on a trip to Las Vegas, and all these guys are like, "Oh, should we get an Airbnb?" I'm like, "We're doing a hotel. I don't care about it."
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Oh, but then they come in your room and make the bed." I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I want."
It's obviously cheaper. Like it's
Is
cheaper
it?
to do
It's-
Airbnb.
Is it?
I'll say
If you're
this.
with a
I'll say
group-
this.
It's dicey.
So
And
my
they start-
opinion was going to be
They hit you with the cleaning fees,
Yeah,
and it's
and,
like
like-
$8,000
Be-
to clean a room for
yeah,
one
because
night.
because
What
I
are you doing?
I left a towel on the floor.
Yeah.
You know, like
friends, Airbnb, like a
No.
big group, 5, 6 plus Airbnb. But if you're just going with family or significant other or whatever, always hotel.
I'll do
it's
hotel
nice
even
to
with
come
friends.
Yeah, I
back
don't
to a
care.
clean room.
I like to have a place of my own, even when I'm with friends.
yes, and you feel like you don't have to like take care of
Yeah,
it.
I don't need to sleep in the same room with my friends. Like
Yeah.
they can be down the hall. It's fine. Like all these trips we've been to for God Bless Football,
Yeah.
on the long days after we're done with the show, like this last one where we were in a sauna.
You're glad to get
And,
away from
dude,
us.
when we got back in the room, oh, heaven on earth.
Have you ever seen, like, I think it's a TikTok or, like, of just the meme of, like, when you're on a work trip, that, like, 10 minutes you get in between whatever you did for work that day and you're going to some dinner. There's just, like, I'm so exhausted. I've done this before, like, at Super Bowls, like,
Yeah.
where I have 15 minutes in my room before I have to go back out again. It's just, like,
Yeah.
that lay on the bed of,
When I
like,
was-
I have 15 minutes here.
That-
Just a moment of peace, like to like reconsider everything.
The last night in Nashville, we like our hotel had a rooftop bar that ended up being closed. We're like, yeah, we'll go up there. Everybody just go, back and like change. We were all sweaty, like, oh, change,
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, terrible.
So I had an early flight the next day, like a 7 o'clock
Probably laid
flight.
down
So
and
I
just
was like,
passed out.
no. So I sit down. I'm like, I'm gonna pack all my stuff because I'm gonna probably leave here like 5:30. Get to the airport way earlier than I have to. But I also don't know like the traffic patterns
Yeah.
because it's also a weekday and like
Yep.
whatever. And I wasn't paying attention when we got back from the airport to the hotel. So I don't know how long it's gonna take. Anyways.
Oh, Jeff,
So yeah, John, but it's fine.
what's it? Yes.
It's fine. So anyway, we go and it's like, oh, we're gonna go to the rooftop bar after, and then they we're at the room like, oh no, it's closed. We're gonna go to the speakeasy in the basement instead of the hotel, and back and forth.
Really cool speakeasy.
And
bar at
then-
the top and the bottom.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah,
Really cool
and
speakeasy
then and then Fuentes is like texting me like, hey, you gonna come? And I was like,
Yeah.
I understood though.
I sat down and I'm in the middle of packing, and I decided to put on my pajama pants while I was packing.
That's it.
And then I was like, am I going to reach back and put those jeans on,
Yeah, they
or am
never
I
go
not?
back
He's
on.
like,
Yeah.
no. He's like, well, last call's in 15 minutes, and I was like,
That's perfect. That
I'm
answers my
not.
question.
I was
Perfect
like,
excuse, yeah.
I'm
I'm not gonna make it
it
down
down.
there in time.
the
Not gonna
but
get to last call
When they
here.
said like, oh, last call, or whatever, and he's like, I'm not coming. See now, if it would have been they're open till 3 in the morning, I'd be like, Billy, stop, come down, have
Yeah.
one. We all had a great day. But since they were closing, and I knew we had an early flight, that combination, I'm like, it's fine, Billy.
Yeah.
So,
When I worked for NBC during the Olympics, we
Oh.
stayed in the
me,
Stanford Marriott.
Yeah, wow.
And,
I
And
worked with Siciliano.
the best day
I
was
do like that note though. When I worked for NBC for the Olympics, I stayed at the Stanford Marriott.
Yeah, exactly. It was like
Not in London.
It wasn't like
We weren't in
wasn't
London for the
yeah.
Olympics. We were in Stanford.
Paris.
Yeah.
Paris this time. I
Well,
wish.
whatever.
No, but anyway, so the best day was
Paris, London, yeah,
same
oh,
shit.
same.
Both
Yeah.
hosted
Same
Olympics
country, right?
recently.
Exactly. Yeah.
No?
Exactly.
Oh,
yeah,
different
whatever.
countries.
No.
No, the
Any-
best day was when you would come home because you're in a hotel for 3 weeks, like you're living there. When you would come home to the clean room, and the bed is made.
Best thing about it.
And everything's tidy.
Yeah.
That's why in a hotel, like I don't have to worry about anything. I can just relax.
I have my friend fighting me on this. He's like, "Oh no, I don't want them in the room." I'm like, "Bro, you're not walking around with a suitcase full of gold bars."
If you don't want them in the room, just put the fucking tag on
Right,
that
I
room.
was gonna say,
no,
I often-
because
you
then
don't come in the room.
they don't clean the room.
No, but I often if my room is not messy, like that first night, I'll probably put the do not disturb just because
Nah.
I'm
Yeah,
not
I don't need anybody
worried
messing
about
with
them
anything.
stealing from me, but it's just like I don't
I
need them
got,
yet.
I got nothing to steal. Is the little lady gonna come and steal my Jordans? She doesn't care. Like she like.
I'm not, that's the thing. I don't think it's like
Come
thinking
make the
they're gonna
bed.
steal. It's
No.
just
No.
I'm almost like I don't need it yet. Like it's good. You
I'm
can do it
good.
tomorrow.
I'm a do not disturb guy. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Me
fine.
too. Our
If I'm-
family is too.
Yeah, they
If
thought you
I'm
were
there,
dead.
like if they're that's
I thought you were dead.
Dude, they like thought I was dead way too soon in Las Vegas. It was like 2 days and like I must be dead. Wellness check. And
It is Vegas.
I was in the bathroom doing a number 2
Yeah.
when they were knocking. So I'm like walking, like pulling up my pants because I see my door's opening. I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So then I'm like running to the door like with my belt open and my pants half down.
Hello,
I'm
someone's
it looks-
here. Hey.
I'm sure it looks terrible. And they're like, just making sure everyone's okay, and they're like looking past me while they're not even making eye contact. They're like, we're just making sure that everything is okay in here, and I'm like, do you want to come in? And
So
they're
what,
like, no,
in-
that's not necessary.
What?
While they're like looking around.
Is it
trying
in
to figure out-
Vegas if you have your thing up for 2 straight days? They just check on
I guess
you?
a lot of people die.
That's what I'm
in
saying. They
hotels in
probably-
Vegas. I don't know. There was a policy that I was unaware of and didn't even think of. But I also don't. I like the idea of a made bed. I don't like when I go
have
to
to like
sleep.
pull the
Exactly.
A tucked-
the
You're like-
corners
There's
are-
a
whole episode of Seinfeld.
This
I'm
is on the sheet
trapped.
today.
yeah,
isn't
well,
it?
that's where I got the. This is where I got the Airbnb thing.
if you're like, you gotta like.
but I like that because then I know it's
But
made.
sometimes
I always rip it
like
out.
sometimes I like the cocoon feeling of
There's an
being
episode.
locked in.
I wish Tony was here. There's an episode of Seinfeld. This is tuck, one no tuck.
I like at Airbnbs when I get ideas for things that can be done in a home. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
you're
Like I
staying
feel like
at a
I'm
house.
watching HGTV or something. I'm looking like,
You would kill
this
on a
is-
show like that.
This was
I love
You
those
would kill on
shows.
a show
I
like
love
that.
those
You're
shows.
the second person to tell me
I think
that.
you would
You
kill
would.
in
like
You
a
would be
month.
great.
Yes, I think you.
Like-
I don't know how.
I think you would too.
explored
Billy,
it.
to be
you
honest.
on My Lottery Dream Home?
That was a show I brought up
Yeah,
as an
that
example.
show,
I
you
was
would
like,
be
that guy.
amazing
I was
on
like,
that
that guy. He could just be anyone. What does he add? He literally.
He's
adds,
great. I like him, but
He's nice.
you would be so
but
great.
he literally adds nothing to the show because he's not a realtor or anything. He's just like
just
a
the
host
guy.
that
There's your
connects them
lane.
to realtors.
There's your lane.
If you had to host a show on like, you know, you ever seen there's a show they have. It's called like a glass blowing show. I don't know what it's called. I think it's
Oh,
called.
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Blown Away or
Yeah,
something
Blown
like
Away.
that.
So it's this random glass
Netflix.
blowing show. Yes, and the host has
what?
no idea what he's talking about. Right? It's
But
like
a-
Ass blowing show.
no. Oh hey, hey yo, a glass blowing show.
my bad. Yeah.
But it's a show about the most
Do that
random
motion
topic. About the most random topic. I
What
feel
just
you
happened?
would kill as a game show host about a random topic.
Oh yeah.
Like a show about balloon animals.
You would just kill a game show in
Yeah.
general.
A
There-
great
there-
host.
there
like
are-
Price is Right, Jeopardy, anything.
Because he had
There-
like
I
quick
can be
little
Drew
things.
Carey.
There are the experts on there, but that's like when you have like celebrities on like cooking shows too, right? Where
Yeah.
it's like you
don't know anything. Yeah.
anything about
Why
this.
is
What are you
Jesse
talking about?
Palmer hosting this cooking
The
show?
Yeah,
Bachelor.
Jesse-
He hosts The
dude.
Bachelor.
I
Well,
Jesse
there's
Palmer.
that old
He's-
sound of Billy where he's like, I was watching Ryan Seacrest. I'm like, you know who could do this? Me.
Yeah,
Billy
they could.
absolutely do
Jesse
that job.
Palmer has the best agent in all of media.
I don't know.
I'm not saying he doesn't deserve it, but it's just like he turned being
He's
the
got a great
Bachelor
agent.
into like.
I think he's just a really good-looking white guy.
Yeah.
That
Gator.
yeah.
Yeah, but
And-
but there's a lot of good-looking white guys out there. This agent took this good-looking white guy, and he's like, "I'm going to get you every gig."
He has like his own line at like City Furniture or something.
Well,
He's on
he,
City Furniture. He's doing
he does
cooking
mattress-
show.
mattress
He's-
stuff, too.
He's like the number 3 guy for ABC. Like he's like the
But
number
there's-
3 analyst.
There's something in this country about the good-looking football player, because Strahan's getting this now too, and so is Burris. What's his
No, Burles. Nate Burleson.
Nate
Burleson.
Burleson? Yeah,
Okay,
like
we
he's
got
getting
there.
this too. Like something about the good-looking
I was
football
like, "Where's
player.
Plexico Burris?"
Yeah, that would be crazy if
That
he was
would
out
be
there slanging,
quite
like,
the- yeah, quite
slanging
the,
mattresses.
Image repair.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say that Chris would be also great on an episode of like divers, dive-ins, and drives, but I didn't want him to be like, "Oh, you're talking because my weight."
No,
I think you kill it on that too.
I would.
Yeah.
There is something about getting into a bed that's kind of tossed everywhere and just pulling those covers like all
It's
the way
wild
over
because
you.
there'll be some days where I'm like, I need all these sheets untucked, and I'll like. But then there are other times I get into a hotel bed and I'm like,
A
I
hotel
like it tight.
comforter, there's nothing like a
So
hotel
like
comforter.
it depends on my mood
Those are
whether I
cozy.
want to kick all the covers untucked or whether leave them tight. Like 'cause some people are either like I'm either untucking them or leaving them tight.
I untuck either way, but I like the feeling of when I first get in, and it's like I can tell this bed's been made.
yeah.
You know?
What is your like dream job that you could do? Since you're saying other people would be
No,
good
no.
at
Well,
things. What would you be good
I don't
at?
know if that's your dream job. I think you'd be good at it.
What would you be good at?
Well, I think I said it on Mr. Crate before. I think I would kill it as like a voiceover actor.
Nah.
Yeah. Did you hear my Western voice on the
can I-
Wild Billy Wednesday?
Can I? Oh, was that you? Can I
Yeah.
betray confidence here? Because
Is
I
it-
thought
is it
it
my
was
confidence?
No, no,
Okay.
no. This
No, yeah,
person's
go ahead.
not here.
Yeah.
He may be. No, he's not in the other room. He leaves like 5 seconds after the show's done. So
It's Lewis.
I was the other day. The other day I was in the you know whatever the Krista and Carmen area, whatever you would
Eating
even call
area.
that. No,
I know the desk.
The administrative area. we'll
yeah,
call it.
whatever it's called, right? And one thing led to another, and they were talking about voiceover work,
Oh, okay.
right? And they were talking about someone, they have a friend that, you know, connects people, does voiceover work, whatever, right? And they're like, yeah, Lewis did voiceover work for this client that they have. And I was like, how did it go? Like, how much did they pay? Whatever, like, just like getting information, like, how do you get into that? Like, I was asking all these questions because like, that seems like a thing that, you know,
Yeah. How do
you can do.
yeah.
How do you get into that? Right? And he's like, yeah, like Lewis did it. He did voiceover work for this commercial. I was like, oh, how was it? Like, how'd it go? Like, where'd you get paid? He's like, I didn't. I'm like, why didn't you get paid? He's like, they didn't air it. And I was like, okay.
Oh, so it's a condition.
You were selected to do voiceover work. And then they're like, we don't want your voice.
Now that we're talking about voiceovers. Okay,
Yeah.
we're going to do this really quick because we only have a few minutes here.
You have a lot of chains, I'm noticing.
I only have one. Oh,
no,
like,
you used to have like little thin ones.
I'd still have
This
that
is
one.
like a different one.
yeah.
How
'cause
do you decide?
It goes by the watches. what I feel like
Okay,
wearing.
but how do you decide the watch? You don't wake up with a watch.
I wake up and I'm like, oh, well, with this watch, I wear this chain. I wear
Today's
this
a
chain.
silver day, a gold
Correct,
day.
correct.
Gotcha.
So if we were going to cast a Pixar movie about this place, what animal do you think you'd play?
Well, no.
So is this just what's your spirit animal?
No,
though?
but like say like we're doing a Madagascar type
Okay.
podcast sports show.
What is the time period? Is it
modern day?
prehistoric?
No, modern day.
So I can't be like a dinosaur.
If you want to be.
Well,
There's
then-
no rules. It's a children's television show.
There's no rules in Pixar
yeah, there's no
movies.
rules.
And I have to be an animal though. That
Yes.
is. A
But
rule.
isn't
That
this
is a
question just kind of what's your spirit animal?
Could I be an
Not
inanimate
really.
object?
Sure.
I feel like I'd be.
I don't have one of those either.
I feel like I'd be a friendly bear.
Yes,
Ooh, like a
I
red
agree with
bear.
that.
I like that.
I can
you
see
could
that.
bear.
It doesn't have to be red.
He's
I mean,
red.
jeez.
Yeah,
I'd be a dog.
Be
Duh.
orange.
Dog. I'd be a little puppy.
Maybe a
Evil,
cat.
evil cat.
Little
yeah.
puppy.
Why did I even ask? I already knew the
Little puppy.
answer.
Little puppy dog.
What do you think Ethan would be?
Ethan, like a little. I don't know. I made
A
it little.
bird.
Sorry.
He'd
I
be
go
a bird.
koala.
Koala.
I can see you as a
no.
canary.
With your hate for Australia.
I hate
You hate Australia?
Yeah,
It's a
we'll do
long
that another
story.
time.
Yeah, that's the next mystery crate. Chris, bye.
See ya.